I'm trying, y'all. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Facebook lately, man. Whenever I go live, it seems to give me some type of issue saying that it's trying to reconnect, so I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm trying to give it a second to do whatever it's going to do, man. Get the kinks out. I don't know, because if it's cloudy, I don't know what's going on. It normally don't never give me as many problems as it's been giving me in the past, so I'm not going to speculate on what that is. But first and foremost, I want to say good morning. Saying what's up with y'all this morning. Last night, I was able to record a new episode for the podcast. I was able to have a conversation with two guys that I've known for a while. One I've known all my life, my man L. I mean, he's considered my brother at this point. You know, he's been a homie since the 80s. You know, since I growing up in Southeast on 6th Street. And then I met Ant at Dale State when I went there, and we've been homies ever since we left Dale State. And we just had a conversation about being black, and specifically being a black man, in today's America. And so if you guys get a chance to check it out, I actually published the podcast last night around 9 o'clock. So it's already up. I already listened to it twice, and it's informative, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as it always is. So if you get the opportunity, please check it out. Real Talk with the 6thman, episode 102. Don't get change confused with progress. And we had a good conversation. So again, if you get a chance to check it out, please check it out. But I also, after I finished editing and putting everything together, I was able to watch the OWN network last night with Oprah, and she had a lot of guests on her show last night. Keisha Lance Bottoms, Avi DuVernay. I can't think of everybody's name, but it was a black actor. It was a doctor on there. She was a psychologist. The Reverend, I can't remember his name, but it was a few people on there last night, and I just wanted to watch it, just to see, kind of see how the discussion was going to go, and just to see what they was talking about. And all in all, it just sounds like enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this shit that's happening to us is hurting us to our core. And I remember the psychiatrist, well, she was a doctor. She was saying that the traumatic effect of seeing what's happening to us on TV, on social media, affects us mentally, 3 months down the line. And I can understand that, because I'm still upset about Freddie Gray. I'm still upset about Trayvon Martin. I'm still upset, about not Breonna Taylor, but the other young lady who was shot in her house with her nephew. I can't remember her name. But as I was saying to both of my guests last night, it's sad that we can't remember all of the people who fell victim to being shot by the police, because it's been so many. We don't know them by name, but we remember the incident. So it's rough. And so she was saying that the traumatic part of it, is the part that needs to be kind of looked at, because people are hurting. She was like, people in this state in Minnesota is hurting, and people abroad, everybody who gets to see it is hurting. And I was just like, damn, like, so that's why I said, last month when I did my mental health series, I wanted to stress that, mental health does not stop in May. I mean, that shit continues on, because we continue to see injustice against us in general. And so the conversation that we had, last night was kind of, wide scale. So I definitely would implore anybody to check out both episodes. I did one, episode 101 was my starting point for, talking about being black in America. And then 102 is my most recent one. And so if you can go back and check out both of them, episode 101 and episode 102, which just dropped yesterday. And so I wanted to just talk about a couple things that we talked about yesterday, and just shit that I just had on my mind overall, and especially, just on Facebook, period. And one of the things was, my man Ant pointed out, I asked him, I said, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to ask you, some people say that they don't want to see white people talking about Black Lives Matter, and then they don't want to see white people out there protesting with us. And his point of view was, it's an ignorant mindset. He was like, because on one hand, you got white people who, treat us a certain type of way, disrespect us and all of that. He was like, so do you want them to disrespect us, treat us fucked up, or do you want them on our side to help get our message out? You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying, that anybody's opinion is wrong, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion based on their past, based on their past experiences, their life, and what they've been through. But it's just one of these things where you see some people online and you just ask, like, why wouldn't you want other people of other races to step up and say enough is enough? You know what I mean? Because enough is enough, Joe. I mean, enough is enough with this bullshit, right? And so I don't want to go into too much detail, because I kind of want you guys to take time to listen to the episode. But I just thought I would bring that up, because he made a great point. He made a great point on why, on one hand, we say we don't want to be disrespected by white people, but on the other hand, when they marching and walking with us and saying that they want to, help us get our word out, is an issue. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. And then there's a lot of people on social media that have sons, and I know specifically a friend of mine from Delaware State, Aaliyah, she was basically saying that if you see my son screaming out for my name, don't worry about your phone, just go help him, right? And then my man L last night was basically saying that if he was a police officer in that moment, in the situation with George Floyd and those officers, he said he would have pushed the officer off George Floyd, right? He said he'd have been like, fuck that shit, get off Slim, man. That's wrong, don't do that dumb shit. But in retrospect, if we do it as regular citizens, what the fuck happens to us? You know what I'm saying? We get fucked up, or get shot, get killed, or whatever. Good morning. So I guess my question is, if we out and we see injustice like this, with the police, and somebody may be recording it, which is fine, which is acceptable. But at what point do we say, man, enough is a fucking enough, man, and kind of intervene, get involved, whether it's verbally or physically? Because at some point, we gotta do something. And I know my man L was speaking from how he felt, and he was like, man, if I was one of them police officers, man, I'd have definitely got Slim on ball of him, man. That's some bullshit. But I'm just asking us, do we say enough is enough? We say we tired, and I know we are. It's no question in there. I know we tired. But if we do happen to see some shit like that, you outside, you see your man's son, or just somebody that child, and they getting roughed up by the police, what the fuck do you do? Do you just, verbally say stop, or do you physically intervene? Because yes, not being a police officer, it's going to either, you know, you're going to get locked up, you're going to probably get some bodily damage, you know, bodily harm done to you, or you're going to get killed. So I think it's not one of them questions that you could just automatically off the cuff say, yeah, I'm going to do this. I mean, and you can, because that's your, you know, that's your emotion running high saying, yeah, fuck that, because we tired of this shit. But at the end of the day, I want y'all to kind of think about that for a minute. I want y'all to marinate on that and, you know, kind of think about, you know, if you were in that situation, what would you do? Because, you know, I'm kind of at the point now where, you know, the way we're dying, you know, on a daily basis, I would say, you know, if we were to die, why not die trying to, you know, help another black person stay alive, right? And I know that, you know, some people gonna look at that, you know, however they want to look at it, but I mean, I keep hearing about, you know, certain things that we could do. You know, can we do this? Can we do that? You know, everybody trying to come up with an idea of what we should do. And it's just like, you know, if you find yourself in that predicament, what would you do? Would you just be content with just holding your phone to record it and kind of talk to the police? Because as you see, you know, in this case with George Floyd, you know, the officer knew he was being recorded. I mean, he flat out knew he was being recorded, flat out. You know what I'm saying? And he still didn't give a fuck. And he had a little, you know, he had this little look on his face like, I don't give a fuck about you recording me, nigga. Ain't not gonna happen to me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you can hear the guy. I don't know if the guy who was talking to him was actually the one recording, but you can hear this guy, you know, talking to him, telling him, you know, that's not right. I heard somebody else say, I'm an EMT, let me check him and all that. But it's like, if you clearly see that this man is motherfucking killing this black man, like, it's inevitable. So how do we help this black man? You know, or how do we help this situation? And yes, they have guns. Yes, they have weapons. But we got weapons too, man. We got weapons too, man. I don't know too many black people that when they go into protect mode, whether it's for a friend or a family member, that realize how strong they are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I realized it years ago that I was actually internally and physically stronger than I thought I was. And this was before, you know, I started lifting weights and, you know, doing all this other type of stuff, you know. But we are actually stronger than we think from a physical standpoint. And, you know, my thing is, you know, hopefully, you know, they won't automatically, you know, pull their gun out, which it's hard for me to say they won't because, you know, we already see what they do. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out, I've heard a lot of people say, don't record me, help me out. You know, if that's me, or if that's my son, or if that's my family member, don't just record, help me out. Help me, or help my son, or help my family member. And it's like, it's something to think about, because we see what the police do to us, you know, just when it's just interaction with them. But to intervene and get in and get involved and try to help, it's like, you know, is that something that we should be doing? And I know it's a question, a serious question, but it's just like, what do we do? What the fuck do we do, man? And so, you know, being black in America is not easy. You know, no matter our economic status, no matter our celebrity, being black in today's America is tough. And it's been tough. You know, it's so many videos and so many documentaries that I watch now that allows me to have a different perspective over America versus the perspective that I had, you know, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And, you know, we all started from somewhere. You know, we all started we all had our starting point with America and some of the issues that are popping up today. And so I posed another question. I asked a couple people, when was the first time you had a gun stuck in your face by the police? And have you ever had, a physical altercation with the police? And when I asked the question, I wasn't necessarily inspecting, everybody to kind of chime in. But if I can remember correctly, by the time that thread was done, it was over 160 comments on people sharing their experiences with the police, talking about, the first time they ever had a gun stuck in their face by the police. And it's just, man, it's unfortunate, man, that so many people have, had that opportunity because he on the phone. See, these people don't understand that they cannot be on the phone and driving, man. This dude is literally driving and texting on his phone, man. It's like I wasn't expecting for all of these people to kind of come on and share their testimony. I mean, I remember one specifically, a young lady said she was at a laundromat and she was, I think she told me she was 6 months pregnant. And she didn't go into super detail about why the police altercation happened, but she said the police ended up hitting her, physically throwing her down, and she was pregnant. Gun drawn on her, all that. And she was pregnant. And so I was mentioning last night and last week also that I saw a video, and it was I hate even bringing this shit up, but it was a black man and 2 white police officers, and they was fucking with him. They was having words, but the brother had his baby strapped to his chest, man. With the little vest thing on. And before you know it, these 2 police officers was wrestling this black man to the ground with the baby on his chest. And I remember the baby crying, and I was like, man, the shit made me so, it got me so infuriated, man. I couldn't believe it, man. And when you heard the baby, this is a little baby, not a toddler, an infant. This baby couldn't have been, 0 to 6 months maybe. And the baby's cry while they was fucking with this man, it fucked with me so much that it brought a tear to my eye, because I thought about my daughter. I thought about, when she was a baby. I thought about what if that could have happened to me. I'm just trying to think about the mindset that this shit is putting us in, man. It's a lot of good motherfucking people out here, man. And I truly believe that people are generally born to be good people, but their environment where they grew up, their family dynamic, and so many other variables change how they, may interact with people, how they react to people. And it's crazy, man. And so for me, it's like, I don't understand how, I don't understand how some people are expecting us as black people to be so fucking peaceful all the motherfucking time. I don't understand that. I don't understand how people expect us to look at what the fuck is happening to us on the news, on TV, on social media, and if we happen to get pulled over, if we happen to have a verbal, conversation with a police officer, on the street, in our neighborhood, at the gas station, at the post office, or whatever, I don't know how, people are thinking that we supposed to be so motherfucking peaceful all the time. Be smart, yeah, be smart about it, because I don't want to motherfucking go to jail, I don't want to get killed and all that, but how the fuck we supposed to always be so motherfucking peaceful, man? When we might have had a family member who was George Floyd, or we might have had a nephew that was George Floyd, or we might have had a cousin that was George Floyd, like Kenethia Austin. Her son Marquise was shot 15 times on First and Wayne Place in Southeast. 15 times. This young man was shot in his back and his head. So in my mind, I mean, was he running from the police? I mean, what happened? Like, how the fuck is you shooting somebody from the back? So I just don't understand how, you know, we supposed to be always so motherfucking peaceful. I mean, I know we are told that we gotta forgive, and it's like, damn, we gotta forgive, you know, it's like we gotta forgive so much, right? But my thing is, you know, yes, I have had opportunities where shit has happened to me, and I have forgiven the person in the situation, but I don't forget shit. I don't forget nothing. I just shared an instance that I saw a guy, and this is a true story. I saw a guy that I used to have beef with when I was younger, and we fought maybe once or twice when I was younger, and I remember him even pulling a gun on me once. And I just recently saw this guy maybe like a month and a half ago, and I ain't gonna lie, my first reaction as soon as I saw this nigga face was I should go fuck this nigga up, right? I'm just being honest with y'all. My first reaction, instance, thought, whatever you want to call it, was, man, I'm gonna go fuck this nigga up, Joe. So I remember I had something in my hand, I put it in the truck, and by the time I was getting ready to walk towards him, something about looking at my daughter's car seat made me stop me in my tracks. And it was like, man, chill out, Slim. That was a long time ago. You grown now. You got a lot more to lose, man. Chill out, man. Don't worry about that shit. And so, with that being said, it's not as easy to stop another person who possibly is dealing with way more drama in their mind than me. Because it might be somebody where this individual that they saw from years ago might have killed a family member or might have done something, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it's like, I just don't understand how we always are supposed to be looked at as, you know, we supposed to be the most peaceful people. I don't get it, especially with all this shit happening to us. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And then lastly, you know, I just want to briefly talk about, you know, I see people online, and again, you know, everybody is entitled to their opinion, so I'm not saying, you know, this is right or wrong, but I'm seeing people online saying how the George Floyd family is getting rich off of him dying. And I'm just like, people are empathetic to what happened to this man. And, you know, when I found out that his daughter's name was Gianna, I was just like, what? I mean, even with Kobe Bryant, when Kobe Bryant died and I was in Mexico and they said his daughter Gianna was on the helicopter, I was like, man, come on. And I remember coming home and, you know, talking to my mother about it. My mother said as soon as she heard that his daughter's name was Gianna, my mother said she started crying because she thought about her granddaughter. And so when I heard that George Floyd's daughter's name was Gianna, I was just like, wow, man, this is crazy, man. That could have been me. That could have been me, and my family don't have me no more to provide, you know, and so now they looking for people for help, you know, and the GoFundMe account, I was told, has blossomed to $13 million. You know what I mean? It is blossoming to $13 million. And so some people are saying that it's amazing how the family is getting rich off, you know, his death. And I mean, I don't really know how to think about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even really want to comment on it, but I just thought I would tell y'all that there's some people out there that feel a certain type of way about it. You know? And I'm just like, wow, like people just empathetic. People want to help. You know, people, you know, feel bad and they don't know the family personally, so they just feel like if they can monetarily help out, that can be a blessing to the family. So I mean, I don't know. It's like so many different views. Everybody got their own point of view on things, and I just think about a lot of shit. I mean, it's some nights I can't even sleep because I'm thinking about everything that's going on, man. I mean, it's some nights I can't even sleep, man. I mean, it's some nights where I get a good night's rest, and then some nights I just get barely enough rest just to get up to do what I'm about to do now. So it's just like, I don't have the answer. Keyshawn, what's up, champ? Hey, what's up, Ant? Appreciate you for last night, man. Appreciate you for last night, man. Yeah, man. I mean, that's, some people feel that way. And I mean, and again, I'm not going to say, whether it's right or wrong, because again, everybody is entitled to their opinion, based off their past experience in life, man, but again, it did make me look at, people coming out saying that, and I'm just like, wow, that's all I can say. I was just like, wow, that's crazy, man. So, again, we talked last night, my man Ant that's on here, we talked last night, man, and it's always a pleasure, man, but, it just seems like, when this shit happens, we got a lot of energy, we got a lot of, we protest, we do all this, but it seemed like this time, and I'm just gonna say it seemed like this time, it's a little bit different. It's a little teeny bit different. But I'm hoping that the energy that we have does not cease. I'm hoping that we continue to keep our foot on these politicians, our local governments, our local mayors and governors. I hope we keep our foot on their neck, man. And I don't mean, literally, but I mean, hypothetically. I hope we keep our foot on their neck so they can do what the fuck they need to do to help us get to the next level, man. Because like I was telling Ant last night, my man Real, shout out to my man Real from Baltimore, him and his brother Dante Jones, he was saying how, the starting line, they keep pushing it back. Not the finish line, but they keep putting back the starting line. So when we start getting respect, or when we start getting equality, or when we start, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. We can't even get to the finish line because we ain't even crossed the starting line yet. I mean, it's crazy, man. And so I know I don't have all of the answers. I know that, I don't think anybody has a specific answer, but I will say this, Muriel Bowser said in an interview with Lil Wayne on YouTube that she went to the council to increase funding for the police. And she said she was waiting to get feedback from the council. And she said that in their, reporting or whatever they do, she said that they need 4,000 officers. I think she said something like 4,000 more officers or something crazy like that. And she also was saying that they are taking an initiative to take the cadets to the African American History Museum to, give them, a crash course on, how it is to be a black person in America. And my man L, said, man, fuck that. She don't need to take all the officers. She needed to take the motherfucking white officers. which I'm feeling them. But then he was like, nah, I mean, I see what she's saying. Yeah, I mean, you got to take the officers so they know. He was like, but nah, man, she need to take the white officers so they know. And I'm like, I agree with that. But I don't think that that's going to be the end all be all. I mean, because you can go to the African American Museum and kind of see our history, but that don't give you the mindset of our people when you interact with them one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? If a police officer walk up to my truck right now, and I'm in Fairfax County, if a police officer walk up to my truck right now, him visiting the African American Museum doesn't give him my mindset. Like, it does not give him my mindset. So our interaction is going to start from that point on, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that taking these officers to the African American Museum is a bad thing. I'm just saying that shit is not going to be the end all be all, and really you can't keep asking police officers that's from West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and all these other places to come and police here, and then they get back in their vehicles and drive 2 and 3 hours back to where they live. Nah, they need to live in the community, man. They need to live in the community. When I deliver and when I go around places, I see, like, so if I'm in Fairfax County and I'm driving and I'm doing deliveries, I see Fairfax County officers' cars parked in front of their house. If I'm in Montgomery County, I see Montgomery County police officers' cars parked in front of their house. You know what I'm saying? In the community, especially I was out, where the fuck was I out? I can't remember exactly the area in Montgomery County I was in, but it was a couple police cars out there, and there was a couple cops that was out in the community, off duty, just talking to their neighbors. I'm like, that's the shit that we need. But do they police where they live? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the question I was asking myself. Does he actually police this area? And so, especially in DC, man, you gotta get police officers more equipped. And when I say equipped, I mean equipped to be able to live in the areas where they patrol. Give them some type of paid incentive, to kind of make them, live where they patrol, man, in their community, so they can get familiar with the community. Because I remember back in the day, I mean, even though, for years we've said fuck the police, but even with that mindset, when the jump out used to roll up, we knew each other by name. When certain police officers would pull up in the parking lot, we knew them by name. And it was sometimes, certain police officers, RoboCop, for instance, he was a bitch ass nigga, but we knew this nigga by name. He would come, he would talk shit, whatever. It is what it is. But I'm saying at least there's a form of communication there. There's a form of, some type of relationship there where you kind of know this, this officer, what they expect. And then vice versa. The officer kind of know what they expect from us. Because we didn't always have issues and situations with the police. Because when they rolled up, they was like, man, look, man, we got a call. We like, oh, y'all got a call. Come on, stop it, man. We out here gambling, smoking weed, drinking, whatever. We ain't doing shit. And we know motherfucking well, ain't nobody call you in this motherfucking horseshoe. Because when we was out on 6th Street, it was one way in, one way out. We had another way out, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But that was our, actually we had 2 ways out. But, when you pulled in the parking lot, it was one way in, one way out. It was a horseshoe. And I tell everybody, there's no coincidence to the fact that in that horseshoe, our house, me and my brother's house, my grandmother's house, was right in the middle of the parking lot. So we can see every motherfucking thing. When you pulled up in our parking lot, our house was right dab smack in the middle of the parking lot still to this day. Still to this fucking day. So if anything was going on outside, all we had to do was look out the door, look out the window, and we can see every motherfucking thing. That's why when my brother set up his Ring camera, he was like, they came at him off the break and was like, yeah, we want to give you an incentive. We got this incentive program so we can tap into your Ring. My brother was like, man, y'all can miss me with that shit. Because my brother can see everything. He can see the parking lot. He can see 6th Street. He can see the bus stop. He can see everything. So when the police used to roll up on us, I'm not saying that we fuck with them, but at least we can interact with them. We can talk shit with them, talk smack, and not physically get assaulted, not get thrown down to the ground. I mean, sometimes it happened, but it didn't happen all the time because we knew them. And I remember, a while back, I remember a while back I was around there and my man Huff, they had a situation. A nigga was walking down Southern Avenue with a gun or something. So my man Huff pulled up in the parking lot. He was like, Kevin, you seen the nigga with the gun? I said, yeah, they said he went down 7th Avenue that way. So Huff went in his trunk, got his AR, and went around the corner. And then the other police followed him, right? And so I remember, you know, they coming back. I don't know if they found the guy or not, but I remember Huff putting his gun back, and he turned his cruiser around and backed up, and I came down the steps, and we dapped each other up, you know, and we talked for a minute. And, you know, me and Huff went to Baloo together. And so we chopping it up or whatever, and all the youngest that's in the neighborhood, they kind of scared to come and talk to me or kind of, you know, come and chime in because they see this police officer. So after me and Huff chopped it up, you know what I'm saying? I told him be easy, be safe out here. He put all. Youngest start coming over, talking to me. The first thing these youngest start saying to me was, why the fuck you out here talking to these bitch ass police officers? What? I just had to shake my head. Cause I was like, first of all, young blood, y'all got the game fucked up, man. All police officers ain't fucked up, Slim. That's one. All police officers ain't fucked up. And two, if you smart enough, you would make sure that your man that's a police officer is in your motherfucking phone. So if you need him, you can call him. What the fuck is y'all talking about, man? So that's what I'm saying. The mindset is very important because it's shifting to bullshit versus, you know, shifting to a higher level. And I do kind of fault myself, you know, hold myself responsible for not really, you know, schooling the youngins the way the old head schooled me when I was young. And I think that's kind of where we dropped the ball. Like, when I left Dale State, I didn't necessarily come back to the hood and stay and kind of teach the youngins what I learned at school, teach the youngins what I saw when I went out of town, you know, tell the youngins there's a different type of world out there. You need to go venture out, go to college, you know, get a trade, you know. I just felt like I dropped the ball where I didn't talk to them as much. And I mean, I think that was throughout, you know, the country. And so it's just a shift in mindset, man, for real, on, you know, fuck the police. I mean, I get it, you know, some police out here are fucked up, you know. And again, you know, like I would tell anybody, police are people too. They going through shit, child support, baby mama drama, tax evasion, not making enough money, because police officers don't make no motherfucking money. They don't make no money. Morning, Kelly. What's up, Mark? You know, they don't make no money. You know what I'm saying? They don't make a lot of money. I think the last time I saw an advertisement for a police officer, I think average salary for the year was like $53,000. That ain't a lot of money. To be a police officer, man, that ain't a lot of money. So I mean, they got shit that they going through too. And I mean, but it ain't no excuse to treat people the way they treat people. And I mean, again, you know, we talk about black on black crime. It's like they motherfucking put a spotlight on black on black crime, right? And black on black crime happens, but white on white crime happens, Latino on Latino crime happens, Korean on Korean crime happens. I mean, any neighborhood that you live in gonna have crime, and it's always gonna be the people who live in the neighborhood. If you go out motherfucking Hagerstown to one of them white, you know, impoverished neighborhoods, it's gonna be white on white crime, black on black crime, white on black crime. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, when it's us, it's spotlighted. The spotlight is on us. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go through social media, you know, I'm fortunate now to kind of have this platform where people send me stuff all the time. And I watched a video where these white cops was going to this guy's house, and he was white, and they knew the guy because they was talking to him by name. They was talking to him by name. And they was approaching his door, and they knew he had weapons in the house, so they was approaching real slow. But for some reason, something happened where to the police officers, it sounded like a gun. Man, these two police officers lit this motherfucking house up. You know what I'm saying? I saw another video where this police officer was pulling over this white boy This white boy was giving the police officer the business because he knew his rights. Man, that police officer unlocked that motherfucking door, grabbed that white boy, got him on that car. And once the motherfucking camera failed, you can't see what was going on, but you can tell that police officer was getting at that white boy because he was like, man, what the fuck, get off me? You can hear the scuffling. I was like, wow. So it's not that white officers or police officers in general just fuck with white people. They fuck with everybody, man. They fuck with everybody, and I don't want people to get it twisted that they only fucking with us. Now, it's unfortunate that in every case, these cocksuckers always talking about they fearful of us. Well, if you fearful of us, nigga, don't take the job, nigga, you's a bitch. You can't be fearful of us and treat another motherfucker differently. Nah, fuck that. That's some bullshit. So, it's a lot. I mean, this conversation is oh my God. It's a big conversation, man. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe how many times we tried to bridge the gap with MPD in the community over the past 15 years. It's so much bullshit with the higher ups. They ain't want community police. Yeah, I mean, community policing is important, man. I think community policing is very important, man. And I remember, when they used to have police officers come around the way. Officer Richie Rich. I remember Officer Richie Rich. I mean, all the police officers that used to be up Baloo, I knew all of them by name. They was cool, but they was still police. And if something kicked off, they would tell me, hey, Kel, man, you got to go that way, Slim. All right, bet, no problem. So it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, like I was telling this youngin' the other day, it ain't about respecting the police officer as a person, but it's at least giving him a certain amount of respect for the authority that he has, he or she. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a certain amount of authority over you off the rip. So you can't just be willy-nilly out telling me, oh, nigga, fuck you. That's going to be a situation. That's going to be a situation. And we got to be smart enough not to give them a reason to fuck with us. I mean, they shouldn't be fucking with us anyway. And it's a fucked up feeling that we got to bite our tongue. We can't speak our mind. We can't, show them how we really feel. It's fucked up. But we got to do what we got to do to fucking survive, man. Because we see what the fuck they doing to us out here, man. You see what the fuck they doing to us out here. So we got to be better than we were yesterday. And Mark, I 125% agree with the community policing, man. We got to figure out a way to bridge that gap, man. Because I remember last year when they had the police officers handcuffing these young boys, I was like, man, that's crazy, man. 12, 13, 11 years old. Come on, man, you handcuffing these kids. What the fuck what message are you sending them? And I ain't talking about with the plastic joints, with the steel bracelets. They putting steel bracelets on youngins. What you think that's doing to their mind, man? Somebody now got to go talk to these youngins like, hey, look, man, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And it's not enough of that going on. It's not enough of one-on-one interactions with men to young men. And as people say, oh, they crazy, I ain't talking to these youngins. And listen, the reason why I feel the way I feel towards the young men is because when I see them, I see myself, 20 years ago. Because if anybody on here know me, I don't need to, what's understood don't need to be explained, right? But, I still, have that passion inside of me. Like I was telling my man Ant last night, Pastor Jenkins did a sermon. He did a sermon one Sunday. And I'm in church, and he was like, the hot water heater has a pilot light. And when you need to run the hot water, the pilot light gets, it flames up. It turns orange, when you got to use the hot water. And when you're done with the hot water, it goes back down to this little blue flame. I'm that blue flame right now. I'm on blue flame status right now. I'm just operational. But I'm not orange. But I can get orange quick. If anybody on here know me, know I can get orange quick. I mean, quicker than a snap of a motherfucking. I can get orange fast. But it's a lot of men in my position that's you know, been locked up, been incarcerated, you know, came home, returned to society, trying to do better, and you just watching, you know, shit like this with white officers, white people calling the police. I mean, and people expect for our motherfucking pilot to stay blue. Nah, nah. Even when the riots and the looting and all that, you know, this lady, if y'all go to episode 101, I recorded this video of this black lady who explained, you know, rioting and looting and all of that shit to a T. So if you get an opportunity, episode 101, check it out. And it's also a guy, Byron F. Wilson of the Wilson Academy down in Georgia. On that episode, towards the end, he kind of lays out a plan of attack or what we can do. And he said the hashtag was how we fight. So y'all can check that out as well. But I mean, there's no concrete idea floating around out there on how we, you know, change what's going on. But I do know for a fact that a lot of it starts with us and how we interact with police, how we act day to day, you know, and just being mindful that we're black and that we are targeted. Now, again, it's fucked up. I get it, but it's life, man. It's America that we live in, man. I mean, it is the America that we live in today, man. And we gotta want to protect ourselves, whether we got kids or younger family members. You know, like right now, off the top of my head, my 2 daughters, my 2 nieces, my 2 nephews, like, I got to be around. Me and my brother, we got to be around for all of them. We can't be out here, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even though I was just talking to my brother yesterday about investing and, you know, some other shit, you know, trying to plan for the future, we all need to be doing that. We all need to be trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, so we can keep going, man, and we can give back to other people. I mean, that's the whole point of me, you know, wanting to start a 501c3, to try to give back as much as I can, man, to be an impact. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be an impact, you know? I mean, because it was people that helped me. There was programs when I was getting locked up in PG County, you know, that helped me. You know, I remember this program where these 2 black teachers from Suitland High School, they was men. We used to go to Suitland High School. We used to have these meetings. And I mean, I'm not going to say that they were fully effective, but I remember. So they must have impacted me some type of way. I remember I used to have to go to this drug meeting off of Marlboro Pike, right there by Mainland and Nemo's Seafood, you know, downstairs in the basement. I had to go there twice a week. I mean, when I tell y'all I was fucked up, man. My mother could not believe the type of child I had grew up to be, but I haven't even had the opportunity to explain to her how I got like that. You know what I'm saying? Just your environment, where you live at. Niggas trying to fuck with you all the time. I ain't never been no bitch, but you're not gonna keep fucking with me for no reason, Slim. And it got to a point where, like I say, when I told my story about when I got a handgun when I was in elementary school, it was a wrap after that. Nigga, you're not gonna fuck with me no more now that I got this hammer. And from that point on, I always carried a gun, man. I always carried a gun. I wasn't out here just motherfucking, you know, picking fights and, you know, that wasn't never me, but you wasn't gonna fuck with me or nobody that was with me. Period, the end. You wasn't fucking with me no more. So I just feel like, you know, a lot of the shit that's going on in our minds, you know, we gotta get that shit filtered out and cleaned up first before we can start trying to, hashing out ideas on what we can do. And so that's why I say, you know, there are some possible ideas out there, but I would say first and foremost, we got to start working on ourselves first. You know, when we talk about mental health, I was talking to Regina. She's a 20-year veteran who's a licensed therapist, and she was saying, Kevin, self-help is important. And I ain't talking about getting your nails done and getting your hair cut and getting a manicure. I'm talking about really self-help. Self-help is important. You know what I'm saying? Checking your health, you know, checking your heart, checking your blood pressure, making sure, you trying to lose weight, eating right. I mean, I notice everybody trying to do the right thing now, CMOS and ACV pills and, intermittent fasting and keto diet. I mean, everybody trying to do what they can do to better themselves, and that's great. But it's a consistent process. You can't just slip up and you're going to say you're going to do this one week and then the next week you're going to stop. Nah, that's just like trying to have a healthier lifestyle and exercising and eating healthy. You can't do that shit week by week. It's got to be a lifestyle change. And I should be one to talk because I rarely get up in the mornings like I used to and do my 45-minute walk. I rarely get up and do my 200 push-ups like I used to do. I rarely get up, and do some of the things that I used to do. But I have changed my eating habits. I don't eat fried food like that. I haven't been eating red meat. I haven't been, drinking no alcohol. I mean, it's just little stuff that we got to do ourselves first. And I can tell you, and I can honestly tell you, like when I talked to my man Keith, a while back on the show, Keith was like, he had never felt better in 10 years than he feel right now, not drinking and not smoking. He said his mind is clear. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but you got to pick your poison. You got to do what you need to do that is helping you. And you have to pay attention to your body. You have to just pay attention to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be waiting for somebody else to tell you what the fuck you need to be doing. You need to be doing that shit yourself, man. Not waiting for somebody else to tell you what the fuck to do. You are the owner of this property, of this body, of this temple. You are the owner, not somebody else. You are. So you got to do what the fuck you need to do for yourself, man. Like real talk, man. Seriously. So, I mean, I didn't mean to come on here and wrap y'all up too much, man, but that's just how I'm feeling this morning. Being black in today's America is fucked up. And it's definitely a lot of work that we need to do. But, outside of watching the special last night with Oprah on the OWN network and a lot of the stuff that they say, I mean, everything that they mentioned was on point. A lot of the stuff that all of the guests mentioned last night was on point. But I do honestly believe that it first starts with the individual and then an overall collaborative, collective effort from everybody, from all of us. But it starts with us first, meaning the individual. Me, everybody that's on here individually. We got to go look in the mirror and just ask ourselves, all right, come on, man. What the fuck you doing? What you said you was going, why the fuck you ain't doing it? I mean, and somebody just posted this morning that it's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. And I laughed out loud because I was like, shit, I talk to myself all the time. I mean, literally. Even when I'm driving, I talk to myself all the time, man, out loud. And I don't see nothing wrong with it because it's a way for me to kind of remember some of the shit that I say I want to do or stuff that I, got to remind myself to do. I mean, it starts with us, man, individually, man. It starts with us. And, once we can kind of fix us and how we react to certain things, how we see certain things, I think it could be a bigger change, man. I really do. Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm just being honest, man. I mean, Keisha know me. Keisha know I used to be off the chain, don't you? I mean, even in junior high school, I was off the fucking chain. I was like that chain and a nigga walking by snatching that motherfucker off. I was off the chain, man, literally. But as you grow up, you gain this thing, that they call maturity. I matured, man. I tell people I changed. I'm like, nah, I'm X that, 69 that. I didn't change. I matured. Cause I'm still the same Kevin, nigga. If you get in my face, nigga, listen, I tell everybody, and it's some real shit. I got this imaginary line spray painted in front of me at all times. If you come within this right here, you get what you get, Slim. I feel threatened. And listen, I'm like a pit bull. That's why I like pit bulls, because them motherfucking dogs don't stop, Joe. They can be hurt, injured, fucked up. They still fighting. And that's me. And I got that from Melvin. I got that from my father. Rest in peace to my father. But I got that from my father. My father was a true dog, man. My father was like, man, look at it. you got the wrong one, dog, because I will fuck you up. And that's instilled in me and my brother. And both of us. I mean, for real. Like, anybody that knew my brother, it's a lot of people that don't know my brother the way me and people who that's close to him. But my brother, Joe, that nigga, man. So what I'm saying is, man, you know, we all have grown up. We all have matured, and we got to take responsibility for our maturity, man. We have to take responsibility for our maturity and hold ourselves accountable. Us. Not nobody else, us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm hoping that we continue this conversation. I'm hoping that, we just try to, be better than we were yesterday. That's it. We try to be better than we were yesterday. So I got to get started work, y'all. I'm glad y'all stopped by. I appreciate everybody coming through as always, man. If you want, please check out my last 2 episodes, episode 101 and episode 102. I just dropped last night. And, if you listen to it, you're always welcome to inbox me. If you listen to it on the Anchor app, you can actually send me a message through the Anchor app. And if you send me a message, I can add it to the podcast so people can hear, either your question or your statement. I mean, I'm just saying, just reach out, to me, to somebody that you trust. Mental health is important, and let's just be better, man. Let's just be better than we were yesterday, man. All right. I hope y'all have a good morning. Be safe, be positive, and, let's try to make this thing a little bit better, man, as we check on ourselves first, man. All right. Peace. Y'all be easy.